Hello guys, my name is Desmond and I welcome you to my lesson for today where we'll be looking at mathematics paper 2. Obviously on yesterday's lesson we did an introduction of this chapter called Analytical Geometry. So ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to say it is very much important that I say it is very, very much important, Lerato, because Coxa the Coxa. What I'm about to say is massively. Shravan, it is massively important that I say a day without learning something new. It's a day wasted. 3 years, please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, Grace, make sure that you learn something new. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, over there. Okay, so guys, in today's lesson, I'm going to be taking you through a question paper that I analyzed yesterday at the end of my introduction to this chapter. So question number 3, we are given a statement over there which says A, being a point having the coordinates of -2 and -5, B, C, and D are the vertices of a quadrilateral ABCD, such that diagonal AC is perpendicular to diagonal BD at T. The equation of BTD is given by 2y is equals to 2y plus x is equals to 18, and AB in capital letters AB, it is equals to 15 units. Okay, so guys, just to confirm, did you get this question paper in the group? I think it was sent in the group. Did you guys get it? Or was it not sent? Mozia, did you see that question paper in the group?
No, I didn't see it. I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
Can maybe someone try to check if it was sent in the group? Let me also check.
Okay.
Isn't there someone to... No, it was sent. Can someone confirm if you all got it?
So I see a picture of it.
You can see the picture of the question paper, no? Okay. No, it seems like everyone got the question paper. So, Mozi, to check the question paper on your screen, there might be a button which says back. So you can just click on that, and then it should take you back to the group so that you can easily access the question paper. So, for those of you who missed yesterday's lesson, it was recorded. I've posted the link in the group. So at the end of my yesterday's lesson, what I did was actually to do an interpretation of this question paper, so you can easily get it there. Okay, so sorry guys, I had to just quickly cough there, but you guys say you can still be able to see the question, I mean the drawing there, isn't it? I'll just do that. Okay, so the first question, 3.1, says determine the gradient of line AC. So remember guys, Shravan, on yesterday's lesson I said when you're dealing with this chapter of analytical geometry, If there's a question under this chapter and they say, how are you? Before you can say, Mr. Examiner, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm not fine, you made question 1 and 2, just ask yourself this question: do I have 2 things? So that means in most cases you'll be asked a question where, for you to successfully answer the question, you need to be having 2 things. It doesn't matter whether they want you to calculate the distance, the gradient, the midpoint, determine the formula, or whatever. You might find that at least 80% of the questions you might need to be having 2 things. Okay, let's try and check. The first question says determine the gradient of the line AC. I always say in every question there is a cream, ladies and gentlemen. In every question there is a cream. What is the cream of the question? The cream of the question is that weight, or those weights, when removed from a question paper, not from a question paper, but when removed from the question, the whole of the question will not make sense or will be senseless. So the cream of the question, it helps you to know what exactly you'll be answering. So in this case, that word determine, it cannot be the cream of the question, but the gradient, it is the cream of the question, which means whatever that you do, before you can stress about line AC and whatever, pull out your tools. Do you know the gradient formula? So if you do, pull it out, you know that the gradient formula says changing y over changing x. What is that in short? It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 over there. So do me the dummies. You remember I said, even if examiner says, what did you eat today? For some reason, if it happens that you say a question in the question paper says, what did you eat in them? Ask yourself this question. Do I have 2 things? So let's see. The question says determine the gradient of line A to C over there, which means you can find the gradient from this formula of the gradient being changing y over changing x. And again, you still remember very well that you can still find a gradient from this formula of a straight line. And again, we have the gradient of line 1 multiplied by the gradient of line 2. This should give you -1. So I'm just trying to pull out all the possible tools that we might need to answer this question. So that means if you have, for example, a point A and point C, you can easily use this formula. But if you don't have, ask yourself this question: do you have the formula for that line of AC? It seems like we don't have it, ladies and gentlemen. If we had it, we were just going to know that this represents the gradient of that line AC. But now, do we not have the gradient of a line crossing that AC? If we do have it, then it means the applicable formula, it is that one over there. Someone like Mr. Luzuko there, I'm not really expecting you to have a good understanding of what is going on over there. This includes everyone else who couldn't manage to either attend or catch up my previous lesson. So everything that I'm saying here is based on my yesterday's lesson, and obviously for you to fully understand, that's when we do more and more and more of these questions. But for now, with you being present in the lesson, you will get used to the type of calculations involved under this chapter. So it is worth it for you to be in the lesson, even though it might seem to be like um you are not understanding how do I know which formula to pick. Okay, so if you remember, guys, from the given statement, we are given the equation of BTD. Where is B? There's BTD. And the equation of that, it is given by 2y plus x. It's equals to 18. So that means there are multiple ways in which examiner can ask you a question, and the question is easy. They just want you to give the gradient of that line. So ask yourself this question: do I have two things, which is the coordinates of point A and point B? I don't have them. That means this formula cannot be applicable in that case. Ask yourself this question: do I have the equation of a straight line of that line of AC? You don't have it. But now, do I have an equation of a line crossing that line? Of course, you do have it. It is given as that. So that means you can use this equation to know equation number 2. So once you've calculated equation number 1 or 2, then you can calculate the other equation. So this is what is going on, guys. When you have a line and you have another line crossing, and they say at that cross it forms 90 degrees, always you use this formula. So that means they say the gradient of this line, when you times it with the gradient of this line, you will always get -1. So because we know the formula for this line, being 2y plus x is equals to 18, we are just going to rewrite it in that standard form so that we know exactly what is the gradient. Then we substitute it into this formula, then we easily solve for that over there. Okay, so let's try to work it out. So the first thing that we need to do is to try and rewrite this in the correct standard form. So it's more like we just want to have y is equals to whatever that has x and a constant. So that means we need to move everything to the other side so that we just remain with a 2y there. So obviously this one, it changes the sign, it becomes. So can you see, guys, with you being in the lesson, you're already learning that every time when you change something to the other side of an equal sign, it changes a sign. But remember, because in this case you are trying to rearrange, you are forced to firstly start with that -x because you're trying to follow that format. So let's see. Can you see? I want to remove this 2. So to remove it, you divide by it. Why? Because you want it to cancel. Whatever that you do on the left, you do on the right. So that means you'll divide by -2. You'll divide, by just 2, but not -2. So you end up having y, it is equals to, remember, there's an invisible 1 over there. So that means this thing is actually -1 over 2 x plus, what is this, guys? What is 16? 18 divided, is it 9? 9 yes, it's 9. So that means we have that. What is this, ladies? This is an equation of that line. You remember, based on my yesterday's lesson, I said for lines which are crossing and ending in the second and fourth quadrant, they have a negative gradient over there. So it sort of serves as a confirmation that what we have done, it could possibly be correct. So let's see. So can you see? There it is the position of the gradient. There it is the position of the gradient. So we can take this value and substitute it there. Remember, always substitute inside the bracket. So that means what we are actually calculating is M2. What is M2? So M2 will be the gradient of that line. So that line. So it's more like we say the gradient of that line multiplied by the gradient of that line will always be equals to -1. And that's if the two lines that are crossing, they form a 90-degree angle over there. That's what I meant yesterday when I was saying the lines which forms a sefapano. And I try to sing that song, but every time when I start the lesson, I forget that sefapano kimo wena moloki wena mo lo. Grace, uyayazi le ngoma le noma uyayazi Grace? So this song, it always reminds you that always, when you have crossing lines, ask yourself, do they form si, fa, pa, no, ki? So this song at all times, it has to remind you that when you have two lines crossing and forming a 90-degree angle, which is that angle over there, you can multiply the gradient of this line and that line and equate everything to -1. So can you see? Easy, 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 easy. We just remove this so that we know what is our empty. Remember, whatever that you do on the left, you do on, never forget that, so that it cancels, you are remaining with, what is this? I know that one cancels. I think it's 2. I don't think I'm lying there. Can someone just confirm if that is? But I think it's 2. And one thing for sure, it has to be a positive value, because the gradient of that line, it's a positive gradient. So already I know it's a positive value. So I'm just thinking that is 2. Is there someone to confirm if it's 2? So you punch 1 over 100%. So that means I'm correct on that one. But did you guys understand, or am I losing some of you guys? Are we moving on the same page, or am I moving too fast?
We are following, sir. We are following.
Okay, noted. Mozi, Trias, Grace, confirm. Last one to confirm.
Yes, sir.
Please understand here the last step.
The last step. Which one? This one. Is it you, Grace? Are you talking about that step?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me quickly give an example there, Grace. I'll just remove all of this because I think, or I assume you. And okay, let's say we've got 2 lines crossing like that, and we say the gradient of this one, let's say, is 2, Grace, but we don't know the gradient of that one, but we know the 2 lines forms Sefapan. So the formula says the gradient of line 1 times the gradient of line 2, it is equals to -1. So can you see, Grace, you know the gradient of line 1. So you put it inside the brackets, you know it is that multiplied by the gradient of line 2. So, no, -1 over there. So, Grace, what do you do to remove that 2? So you just divide by 2 so that it cancels, and whatever that you do on the left, you do on the right. So can you see, Grace? You therefore have M2 being equals to what? You punch all of that on a calculator, it gives you -1 over 2. Does it make sense there, Grace? This was just an example, ne?
Yes, sir.
So, ulijongile manje, ulijongile Grace, ulijongile, ne? Grace, do I move on? Are you happy there? 100%. So now, remember, guys, just make sure to write down that value there so that we don't lose it, because it is very much important, especially in this chapter, that you never lose any of your calculations. So let's say 3.1. Okay, we know that the gradient of this, it is actually equals to what? Is 2. And then the gradient of this line, it is equals to, what was it? I think it was -half. Okay, so now let's try to move to the next question. Can you see, guys? This was allocated 2 marks, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the only way in which you can solve that question. When it comes to analytical geometry, there are so many ways to kill a cat, but the basics is to ask yourself if you've got 2 things. Okay, 3.2, determine the equation of AC in the form y is equal. Hey, guys, ask yourself this question. Do I have 2 things? Can you see the examiner? Examiner is greeting us, but we also ask ourselves this: do we have 2 things? You remember, guys, on yesterday's lesson we said if they want you to calculate the equation or determine an equation, ask yourself this question. Do you have the 2 points? If you don't have the 2 points, do you have a point and do you have the gradient? Do we have it, guys? What do we have there? So this question wants us to determine an equation of AC. What do we have, or what do we know about AC? Anyone there, ladies and gentlemen?
We have coordinates of A and also the gradient on the line AC.
So can that be used to answer the question?
Yes, we can. With the, I think we can use that equation of y is equals to mx plus c.
So can you see, guys? He said we do have 2 things, and we have a point being -2 and -5, and again we have the gradient being equals to 2. For as long as we have 2 things, then we can, in the form of y is equals to mx plus c, determine an equation. Okay, let's try to substitute. What is m? We know m is the gradient, so that means already we know that the gradient is 2 plus c. At which point? At point A. So what is the x value at point A? What is the y value at point A? So remember, guys, A is in this format of x and y. So it's just a matter of you substituting there. Y, it is -5. It's equals to, can you see, there is 2, and then what is x? X is -2 plus c. So good people, for those of you guys who are doing private lessons with me, can you see we apply our understanding of a straight line function in order to formulate so that we can calculate. But now, can you see there, already you are noticing what is it, a linear equation, which means you solve. So can you see everything is incorporated? So you just have to make sure that those simplest lessons that I start with, you take them very seriously, because you will always and forever use them when you solve for questions. Okay, so let's see now. What are we having there? You transpose, or before you even transpose, you can just multiply those two. It doesn't really matter that much in terms of what you do. So what is this times that? I think it's -4 plus c. Remember the song, Chabalala one side, Maloleka one side. So remember that song, I'm not saying letters on the left, numbers on the right. We are just saying numbers one side, letters one side. So I'm just going to move this to one side so that I remain with letter C on one side. What is that? It ends up being -that plus that. What is this? I think this is -1 being equal. So it's more like C, it is equals to -1. Okay, so now it means you can rewrite the formula in the correct format that they wanted you to write it. So it's y, it's equals to, the gradient is 2x. What is your c value? Your c value is negative. This is exactly what the examiner wanted you to provide as part of your answer. Ladies and gentlemen, did I lose you there? Or are we all on the same page on that one?
I'm following, sir.
Yes, sir.
Last one to confirm.
So I'm following.
Okay. Someone just confirmed also that we are on the same page. Let me just check who's on the line. Tim Giddy, I'm not sure if you joined the lesson late, but are we Gogza, are we on the same page there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So now let's maybe move to the next question, being 3.3. So let's see. 3.3, the question says, if equation AC, which is the equation that we're trying to determine, AC is y is equals to 2x minus 1. Calculate the coordinates of t. So can you see, guys, this is what I meant yesterday when I was saying whatever that you calculate there, just make sure that is the same as that. So examiner here is being messy on you in a sense that they know if you failed to calculate it there, you can still continue on this question with the correct formula. So indirectly, it's more like they were saying proof that whatever there is actually equal to that. So an advice that I can give to you is that before you answer questions, quickly browse through all the questions, just so that in case if you got a different answer there, then you won't get confused when they say if this equation is that, but yours there you got millions and 100,000 and 39 cents and million thousand. So just make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you familiarize yourself with all the questions so that when you calculate or when you determine or when you solve for that question, you already know that you're expecting something similar to that, and not to realize after you got some big numbers there, then you realize, hey, I think I got hammered there. So, okay, 3.3, they are saying if line AC is equals to that, determine the coordinates of T. So just be aware of this question, ladies and gentlemen. We've got that line of AC being Y is equals to 2x minus 1. Remember, we also have this line. So, no, this is what? This is C. This is what? This is A. This is B, remember? This is D. So the T, it is there, and this line's okay, that it doesn't really matter that much. But an equation of this line, you remember, we said is y is equals to negative 1 over 2x. What was this? Was it plus 9? I think it was plus 9. So just make sure that whatever that I write there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm writing correct things over there. Okay, so let's see. So Mr. Lozuku, at all times, when we have lines crossing, if we know the equation of that line and we also know the equation of that line, it means at this point the two lines are equal. So that means this y and that y is the same thing. Same WhatsApp group, ladies and gentlemen. So what exactly does it mean? It simply means, let me see. No, you can see. It means the y at that point, which is that y value there, and also the x, which is x there. These two lines, they actually share the same coordinates at that point. So we can use these words. It's either they share, or otherwise someone can say they are equal. At that point, someone can say same coordinates at that point. In other words, what does it mean? You can choose whether you'll use the word share, equal, or same as a reminder. But what it means, Mr. Lozuk, it simply means this equation is actually equal or the same or share the coordinates with that other one over there, which means you can say this is equals to that, and of course this is just y, this is just y, so you can equate these two, meaning you are going to have 2x minus 1 is equals to negative 1 over 2x plus 9. Before I go deep, are we all on the same page on that one, ladies and gentlemen? Did it make sense to everyone?
It does.
It makes
Yes,
sense.
sir.
Okay. Uh, Guys, me, I'm eating. I know you guys, you don't eat at people's place, but me, I'm chowing. Okay, so let's see. What type of an equation are we having? Trias, can you tell us what type of an equation are we having there? Is it a quadratic or is it a linear equation?
say linear, sir.
100. Let me put Mr. Lozuko on the spotlight. I'm not sure. Okay, is the Mr. Lozuko? Why is Furious saying this is a linear equation? Do you have an idea of why he's saying
So why are you putting me on the spotlight?
that? Okay, let me make it dark so that you're on the dark. Just say it. It's now dark. It's now dark. Why is he saying that, Mr. Lozuko?
He's saying that because there's an equal sign, and also it's in the power of 1.
100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, what Trias is saying over there, he's simply saying this type of a problem that we're dealing with is a linear equation. So, Mr. Luzuko has confirmed to say it's an equation because we see an equal. So, every time when you see an equal sign, you're dealing with an equation, which means you must solve. What are you solving? Shravan, we are solving for the unknown. What is the unknown? The unknown is represented by letter X, which means in the end, we must say X is equals to whatever. So, chabalala. One side. Mr. Lozuko, remember to mute your mic on your side. So, you remember the song, guys? Chabalala, one side. Never, 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 never forget this song, ladies and gentlemen. It simply means letters on one side, numbers on one side. So can you see? We can take this to one side and a number to one side. Koksa, the koksa. It means we are now going to have this thing. What are we having there? So can you see we've got 9. This one is a visitor, it therefore changes a sign. Grace, 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 grace. What is 2 plus half? I think it's 2.5. What is 2.5? It should be 5/2 if I remember. This should be equals to what? 10. So can you see, guys, we just want our x value. We don't want too much, just our x value. So I'm just going to divide by exactly that. Why? So that it cancels. So I'm also going to divide by the same thing on the other side. If I remember, it's going to be 20 divided by 5, then is 4. Someone tell me, what is
It's
10
correct,
divided by
sir.
that?
It's
Guys,
correct, sir.
can you see that my mind is still are you guys not impressed there? You guys are jealous of me. Can you see I'm trying to be clever there, using my big head to no, it's a small head. But now still, guys, it's not a magic. So it's something that you might be learning in grade 10 to say when you have a number, you divide by whatever. It's more like it's 10, you multiply by the inverse. So it's more like 10 times 2, you know it's 20 divided by its whatever. So don't be scared, guys, and think you might borrow my head to go to your exams and not take a calculator. I'm telling you, you will fail. If you take my head to exam, I'm telling you, you are going to get negative 100%, which is even less than. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, did you all understand this? Remember, this is not the end of the question, but up to what I've done, did you all understand?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. But remember, the question said, calculate the coordinates of D. Ragunenen, what is the coordinates? The coordinates is a point that has the X and the Y value. Very, very much important over there. So can you see already we have the X value. How do we get the Y value? You just use any formula. Remember, this formula, it is equated to what? To Y. Also, this formula, it is equated to what? To Y. Just use any formula that you like. To make it simple, between these two formulas, choose the one that is simple to use. Can you see? I think this one of Y is equals to 2x minus 1. It's easy to use because you just substitute your x value into where you see x there. Minus 1. What is this? This is 8 minus 1. It is equals to 7. So that means the coordinates of t it is actually 4 and 7. So that is how you score yourself full marks for that question. I'm just not sure if you're able to see the end there. But this is what I was writing to say. The coordinates of t, it is actually 4 and 7. So Grace, it's at all times whereby when you have lines crossing, you can equate the two equations if you have the two equations. And then after equating the two equations, you can therefore solve for x. After solving for x, you use the x value to substitute in the simplest formula between the two. Then you're done. So it's more like solving this simultaneously, but the question is being asked in a very smart way. So can we now, ladies and gentlemen, with the confidence, move to the next question? Did that make sense to everyone? 4 and 7. How did
Yes, sir.
everyone run out? Mozilla. What does Mozilla say, Mozilla? Did you want to say Moria and you made a mistake and ended up saying Mozilla there?
No, it's a name and the same name.
What is it in full, Mozilla?
It's Moses Mahlalela.
Oh, Moses. Hey guys, we have Moses in the group, and Moses is Mozilla. Hey, I'm telling you, you know, if you're a rapper or a singer or whatever, and we know your name as Mozilla, then in one of the interviews they ask you, what does Mozilla mean? How did that come about? And you say, Mozilla is Moses. I'm telling you, man. Everyone was going to unfollow you, man. You know, it doesn't sound like... Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, where are we? So 3.4, if A, B, C, D is a kite, with A, B being equal to B, C, what are they saying there? If A, B, C is a kite, with A, B being equals to B, C, okay, let's check. Now they're talking about a kite. Okay, let's see. If A, B, C, D is a kite, okay, with A, B being equals to B, C. Oh, no, now I see. So it's more like, because already from the question they told us that AB is equals to 15 units. That means also this, it is equals to 15 units. Why? Because they said AB is equals to BC. And remember, guys, a kite, you just have two sides being equal, and that means also this sides, no matter how long they are, they will also be equal. So that means this is equal to that, this is also equals to that. So it's more like these are the characteristics or the properties or whatever of a kite. So let's see now. They are saying 3.4.1, determine the coordinates of C. Determine the coordinates of C. Yeah. What is this guy? Okay, it's fine. I'm going to ask myself, Mozilla, do I have two things? Always, guys, if a question is that much difficult, don't panic. Just remember that in some chapters it's easy. You just ask yourself some things to say. If this guy is saying, what are the coordinates of C? Do I have two things? But in this case, you must have done more of this type of questions, because that's when you realize that you need to be having a theory or an understanding of what a kite is. So if you have something similar to that and they say this is a kite, so that means this interior lines, ladies and gentlemen, these interior lines, that point where they cross, this is the midpoint when you're having two lines being equal. This is the midpoint, ladies and gentlemen. So that means from there to there is actually equals to from there to there. Can you see? Here, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to start praying. Calling Abu Gogo in exam to say Madluziami, Ozani le exam le umbonisa umlilo nani nani nini. What do you know about a kite? Easy. You know very well that from from B to D and again A to C, this diagonal lines, they actually intersect at that point, and this is the midpoint of this line. Not necessarily that it is the midpoint from there to there, because it could be that these two lines are long, or maybe they are longer than those two lines. Okay, so can you guys see that in this case we can use the midpoint formula? Because the midpoint formula will say this point at T, let's call it X at T. It is going to be equals to X at A plus X at C divided by 2. So that means X at A plus X at C divided by 2. This is going to give us the X at the midpoint. You also do the same for a Y. You can therefore say Y at T, it is equals to Y at A plus Y at C divided by 2. So that means it is the midpoint formula that you're going to use in this case, ladies and gentlemen. So I just did that to remind you of the midpoint formula. But in this case, you need to be smart. So it's more like in yesterday's lesson, I was trying to teach you on how to climb a tree. But in today's lesson, examiner is trying to say, okay, now that you are at the top of the tree, how do you come back down? Let's see. You remember Moses? We said, do we have two things? What are those two things? 2 points. Easy. Let's see. We do have the point of A being -2 and -5. We also have the coordinates of T being that and that. We calculated them previously. So when you understand the midpoint formula very well, you will be able to formulate it nicely using the letter. So can you see it's just a matter of you substituting. Let's see. What is X at T? We know it is 4. So that means it's 4 is equals to X at A. Did we no, we didn't calculate, it was given, plus X at C, we don't know, divided by 2. You can choose to continue with this one and then later do for Y. Maybe let's continue. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, this is another type of a problem that it might confuse most of you, but still it is an equation because I see an equal sign and I see a letter to the power of invisible 1. Therefore, it is a linear equation, but in a form of a fraction. So when you have a fraction on this side, you also fractionalize. This is not English word, guys. Don't never ever write it in your English essay to say you rationalize. What did I say? You see, I even forgot whatever that I said. Okay, so let's see. When you have fraction on this side, you also fractionalize on the other side so that you cross multiply. Some of you might remember this thing of cross multiplying. So it is in this case where you have a fraction on the other side, so you fractionalize the other side so that you cross multiply. When you cross multiply, this times that, what is 2 times that? It's 8. It's equal to, what is 1 times anything that you multiply by 1? It is exactly as that. So can you see? One side, meaning letters on one side, numbers on one side, which means you are going to transpose. Then you have 8. It changes the sign, is plus 2. X at C. What is that? This is 10 is equals to X at C. So already we know that the X value at C, it is 10. We do the same for Y. Let's see. What is Y at T? We calculated it to be 7. What is Y at A? Can you see is that one? It is -5 plus Y at C divided by 2. You cross multiply, what is that by that? I think it's 14. This is equals to negative 5 plus y at c. One side, what is it? I think this is 19 because it's 14 plus 5. Yes. This is y at c. So that means y at c, it is actually equals to 19. So that means in answering the question, C has the coordinates of 10 and 90. Remember, guys, this is me in exam showing you on how I would answer this question. So you just be aware of all the tactics that one can do in exam. So this song of Chabalala, one side, whatever one side, I'll be singing it inside my heart, ladies and gentlemen, having a very big smile. Don't be starting an exam and you are now singing, making noise, singing this song. I'm telling you guys, they're going to call soldiers to arrest you to disturb for disturbing. Okay, so no. Before I even continue, let me give you guys an opportunity to comment in case if all made sense. Did you guys understand what I was doing over there? Did you guys get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shreyas,
Yes, sir.
I want to check if you haven't been skipping my lessons. Complete the missing word. You get it? If you don't get it,
Forget about it.
hey, Shreyas, it means you've been attending my lessons. It's not everyone who can complete the missing word. Only those who don't bang my. That's how I know if you're missing. Okay, just to prove it, let me see. Let me see. Lebogang Moloi, filling the missing word. Chabalala, one side. You see? You see? You see? Moloi. Loi.
Sir.
Is it because you're afraid of singing or is it because you're banking lessons? Which one is it? I'm trying to check. Okay, no, I see. Calculate the length of BT. Hey, yeah, this question. Calculate the length of BT. Let's see. So sometimes when a question it seems to be a bit tricky, just check how many marks are allocated for that question. It's nice being safe. Hey, it's very nice. If I come across such a difficult question, I can just give it to you as a homework. Then you are going to sweat. And me, I'll just be having my nice cup of coffee there. Calculate the length of BT. Oh, then you'll realize something, ladies and gentlemen. You will realize something. Try to have all the information that you've calculated. What do I want to say? I want to say whatever that you calculate, make sure that you never forget what you've calculated. I'll show you guys something. This is B. This is A. This is C. So this is from B to T. So this is B, this is A, this is C, this is T. But you remember, they said this is from A to B is 15 units. And we calculated the length from A to C. What was it, guys? Do you still remember did we even calculate the length? No. I don't think we did. We didn't calculate that length. But we can calculate the length, Shreyas, from A to T. Why would I do that? It's because I know this is a right-angled triangle. Remember, guys, always when you have a right-angled triangle, you have the right to use sine, cos, tan, or Theorem of Pythagoras, which says r squared is equals to x squared plus y squared. So always when you have a right-angled triangle, you can use any of this. It depends on what information you have. So I'm sure someone is able to notice that if we can have a distance from A up to D, we can easily use Theorem of Pythagoras because we know the longest side and we can calculate that, then we just get that one. Guys, does it make sense for those of you who are at an advanced level as far as maths is concerned? So I'm actually referring to those that we started with in the beginning of the year. For those of you who might be a bit lost, worry not, we'll still get there. But you just need to be aware of all the possible tactics that can be applied in answering this kind of question. So, Moloi, are you following there?
Following them.
You're breaking there, Moloi. Are you following?
My network is poor.
Okay. But I think you do. Can someone just indicate if kwenzakalani manje? Let me try to mute. Okay, no. So it happens, guys, that sometimes you do forget to mute your mic. And now we hear someone saying, you see, so it is very much important that at all times you remember to mute you. But guys, what I'm trying to say there, does it make sense to everyone, or am I losing you guys? Maybe when I calculate it will make a perfect sense. Let's see, what are we doing? It's 3.4.2. Ragudanan, in short, examiner is trying to check if you know how to apply the distance formula. So the distance formula, it is going to help us to know the distance from there to there, or the length. Here's the formula. It says, I think it says x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So remember, ask yourself this question: do you have two things? Of course, we do have the coordinates of A. We do have the coordinates of that. This is -2, -5, 4, and 7. So let's see. What is going to be x2? You can use maybe that one as 4. So you're having 4 minus. Remember, in brackets, -2, you close and you close again, then you square it. If you don't close 2 times, you're going to get the wrong thing because it's more like you'll be squaring -2. This is where you mostly make a mistake. Okay, there is 7 minus. It is minus from the formula. Inside the brackets, you have -3. Close, and then you square. Okay, so someone to punch this one on a calculator. I don't want to use my head there. That one is difficult. It is going to break my nerves. But I can try it. Let's see. This is that. What is it?
It's 6 with 5, 7.
What is it?
6 with 5.
Who's speaking? Guys, someone to confirm that answer. What is the answer there when you punch all of that? I think I'll need to also do it on my side.
Yes, that is correct.
What is it? I couldn't hear what you said. What was it?
I said it's 6 root 5.
6 root 5. Hey,
Yes, but if it's in decimeters, then it's
why am I
6
not
root
trusting
5.
you? Who's speaking?
It's 2 Memo.
Oh, Doomsa the Doomsa. Is everyone getting that? Because I think I'm getting 2 square root of 34 there. Doomsa, how did you get the answer that you're getting? Or did I maybe write the wrong formula there? Guys, what are you getting?
So I'm getting 2 square root of 34.
So Shreyas is getting 2 square root of 34. Doomsa the Doomsa, are you sure you didn't make a mistake somewhere? Can you quickly try to check, Doomsa, if you've done some correct calculation substitutions there? Can you quickly check? Anyone to confirm if that 2 root of whatever is correct? Maybe we're the ones who made a mistake somewhere, Shreyas. We just need to confirm that one.
I said it's 6 root 5. I'm not wrong.
Shreyas, let's try to double check. So it is square root of, inside the brackets, x2. Okay, there x2 is 4 minus into x1 there. It is negative 2 close squared plus open. What is y2? Y2 there, it is 7 minus into negative 3 close squared. How? 2 the root of 34, guys, what's going on there? We have to get the same answer. So where did I make a mistake?
The coordinates of A is negative 2 is to negative 5, not negative 3.
Oh, yes. Shreyas, where did you get negative 3 there, my brother? My brother from another mother. What's going on, Shreyas? What's wrong with you, my brother? Shreyas?
Nothing, sir.
But you see there, you got negative 3. Where are you getting that negative 3?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Okay,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Sibanda. Mr.
Yes, yes.
Sibanda, I think, let me see. Okay, Mr. Sibanda, in the staff room group, just say, Toby, please add, who is it? Tsepang. Yes, you can just send a text in the staff room group. So our manager will add her in the private group. She has access.
Okay. Let me just do that now.
All right, thank you, sir. Sorry, guys. That was Mr. Sibanda there. So that means I had to actually finish this lesson before, what is it, 2030. But it's fine. We're almost done. You see, Shreyas got it wrong. Is it me or Shreyas who got it wrong? I forgot, but I think it's Shreyas. So Shreyas, they are saying there is negative 5 and not negative 3. So when you punch it, you end up getting 6 the root of 5. So I think that is the correct one over there. Shreyas, can you just confirm for me there? And let me know.
Yes,
So that
sir.
means the length from there to there is correct, ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So can you guys see that we have this side, we have that side, we have two things. We can therefore calculate the other thing. So this is the longest side, which is a parallel to the 90-degree angle. So this is the R. So that means you substitute into that formula. So remember, guys, Mr. Lukele, this information you only accumulate it once you've done more and more and more of this type of questions. That's why I was saying you might know all the notes, but if you're not aware of how questions are being asked, you won't survive. So spend more of your time in solving exam type of question papers which have got the memos. I'm working on something of which I think it will benefit you guys. I've created a library which will have previous question papers from the past 5 years together with their memos, and this will be for all the subjects. So that includes, let's say, life sciences, geography, English, accounting, maths, lit, economics, physics, life sciences, whatever. And then also in the same group, I'm going to add the notes that I used to prepare for my lessons, which will also have links to lessons that I was doing while solving some certain chapters, whatever. So I think it's going to be easy for you guys to even study on your own, such that when you prepare for my next lesson, you already know what to expect, and you'll also be having access to all the notes that I'm using. So most of my notes are the notes that I was using when I was in high school, because I was able to summarize and have a short version of what could be in, let's say, 10 pages. So I value this information that much, such that I think it will help you guys. So just make sure that at the end of this lesson, you can just send me an inbox to request a link to go to the library that I'm building. So, okay. So now let's see, what is R? It is that longest side being 15 squared. This is equals to what is x? We can consider that to be x. Then it is going to be 6 the root of 5 squared plus y squared. Then you transpose. So it's all about having numbers one side, letters one side. So what is then 15 squared minus 6 root of 5 squared? What is that, guys? Someone to punch that on a calculator. Calculator. Let's see. So once you are confident with punching things on a calculator, Mr.
45.
Moses, you can therefore confidently call it calculator. But when you get wrong answers, you call it calculator. What did you say? What answer did you get? Was it you, Team Giddy?
Sorry, sir.
I said
It is
45.
Okay. Okay, no. Mr. Sibanda, I think I'm about to wrap up.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, let's say less than 2 minutes. I'll be done.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Sibanda. Team Giddy, that T, does it stand for Thomas? Mugidi? Thomas Mugidi?
Tovile, is it?
Oh, you know that T looks like Thomas there. Okay, did you say 45? Okay, so I suppose everyone is getting 45. So because you have 45 is equals to y squared, therefore it means you remove that squared by introducing a square root on both sides. So that means you're going to have square root of 45 being equals to y. Then what is square root of 45, Toby? Let's see, square root of 45.
3 root of 5.
3 root of 5 is what we are getting when we punch that. Remember, guys, 3 root of 5 is the same as 3 root of 5. Easy over there. Okay, so that means this side BD, which is what, BT, which is what the question wanted us to calculate. It is exactly that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are now on our last question, of which I'll leave it to you guys as your homework. Remember, this is posted in the group. So you can try and work out the last question, which says write down the length of the radius of the circle passing through points B, C, and T. Grade 11s, don't worry about this. All of you who have never heard me speaking about a circle, don't worry about it that much. So everyone who studied the circles at school, you can attempt that one. So on our next lesson, or on one of my upcoming lessons, I'll therefore take you through the circles. But for now, we'll leave it there. So guys, can we now conclude on this lesson to say we are done? Are you guys happy there with today's lesson?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Last one to
Yeah.
confirm.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah, I understand. Done.
Okay, guys, thanks very much for joining. I hope you did enjoy as much as I did. My name is Desmond, and I'm out.
Thank you, sir.